Cole Palmer is a young, exciting player. So, in this clip, you can see that Cole Palmer has dropped deep, dragged the center back out of position, and opened space to be exploited. But no Chelsea player is making runs beyond him so that he can be played in by Axel Disasi. This is a problem that has faced Chelsea in many games in the Premier League. And today we are going to see how. And is it a system problem, or is it a personnel problem, or is something that requires time so that it can be created? So a lot of fans in Stamford Bridge and at Chelsea have earmarked Mauricio Pochettino as the problem at Chelsea. Mauricio Pochettino has literally been blamed for most of the failures at the team. So there might be some problems in the Pochettino system, but as we know, a coach cannot just impose his own philosophy that he had in a different team to a new team. Key elements of Pochettino's attacking play, such as rotations, movements, runs that include either third-man runs and dummy runs that he was famed for at Tottenham Hotspur, and as well as his previous clubs in Southampton and Espanyol, have not yet earmarked themselves at Chelsea. Managers such as Pep Guardiola also found a problem imposing their style at their first season in the Premier League. Before we continue, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So Pochettino's setup is not faultless, and therefore Pochettino also has a problem in his setup, and we are going to see why. So Pochettino has mainly lined up Chelsea in a 4-2-3-1 system. So Chelsea don't have a problem progressing with the ball from the first three zones of the pitch, that is the defensive third and the midfield third. The problem at Chelsea is in the attacking third. So in the attacking third, Raheem Sterling tends to start while he has tucked in the right half space, and the right hand side is not quite a problem for Chelsea since it is the position where they like to attack the most. But the problem is the left hand side is where Chelsea have a problem. Enzo Fernandez, who's destined to start as a number 10, does not occupy his position in the left half space. And this leads us to our first problem at Chelsea. And this problem is Enzo Fernandez. I've done an extensive video on that. Link is in the top right hand corner. So this is a clip of Chelsea in attack. Chelsea like to have at least 5 players in attack. But from this clip, you can clearly see the position of Enzo Fernandez. He's the one who's supposed to maintain his position in the left half space so that he can open up space for the left winger to receive the ball. But he tries to drop deep even though Chelsea have numerical advantages with the ball, vacating his position. Therefore, Modric cannot receive the ball in space to run against a fullback because Enzo Fernandez has vacated his space. This is a big problem in playing Enzo as a number 10. So when Chelsea like to set up in a 3-5 system similar to what Manchester City do, what you expect is somebody like Moises Caicedo to be drifting with the ball forward, or Conor Gallagher drawing a midfielder, and Modric to be receiving the ball in space since Enzo Fernandez is in the half space, and if the fullback commits, Enzo can make this dummy half space run. But the problem now at Chelsea is that Enzo Fernandez does not like to stay in this position. Enzo Fernandez is a number 8. He likes to drop deep and have the ball at his feet. So in these instances, you see Enzo Fernandez coming back into midfield to collect the ball because he's impatient, and therefore he tries to play these Hollywood passes to Modric. But Modric, even though he tries and attempts to run at the fullback, he still loses the ball to the centre back who tries to commit. And this has given Mykhailo Mudryk a lot of problems as a left winger at Chelsea. And these are also the problems that Chilwell experienced when he played in this position. There is no support. There is no fullback underlapping him or overlapping him to generate numerical superiority against the fullback. This has been a constant Achilles heel to this Chelsea system. Now we move on to the next problem at Chelsea, and this is Colwill. I understand why Pochettino wants to play Colwill. He wants his back three in possession, but the problem is now If you have a midfielder who's not underlapping, it is naturally expected that the fullback should be the one who's pushing forward to either generate width or make this underlapping run. That is something that Colwill cannot do, and therefore Chelsea are always underloaded in the left-hand flank. From these statistics here from who scored, you can clearly see how the left-hand side of Chelsea is the minimal used area of the pitch. Though Chelsea don't like to move throughout the midfield region, Chelsea prefer attacking down the right, since there they have numerical superiority. Compare this to Manchester City. Manchester City is the first team currently. They have won 6 out of 6 games, but look at how balanced their attacking system is. All the three vertical zones are utilized. And you can see here from a clear snippet of how Manchester City are progressing with the ball. One winger is staying wide, while a midfielder is attacking the half spaces. The half spaces are the spaces between the centre back and the fullback. And we need to have a player attacking this position. So now look, when you shift back to the right-hand side of Chelsea, where they enjoy the most, Raheem Sterling and Malo Gusto have formed a clear partnership, which is quite great. But this partnership is sometimes curtailed since opposition have earmarked to stop Chelsea's right side build-up because their left side is not quite the best. So they form a triangle together with Conor Gallagher in these kinds of position. And when they form this triangle, Raheem Sterling time and time again receives the ball in the half space channel and tries to make crosses. And these crosses are also not effective because a lot of players are still not coming into the box to back up this press, with Enzo Fernandez staying out and Mykhailo Mudryk not making the far post run. And this leaves us to another problem in Chelsea's attack. Here you can see Mudryk has the ball and he can make a simple 6-yard pass, and Raheem Sterling could make the game 1-0 for Chelsea. But he decides to make a cutback and the chance is gone. This is one of the many chances that Chelsea squandered against Bournemouth, and this made them get a draw. So is this a problem because of Mauricio Pochettino's system? No, I don't think so. So you also look when Chelsea are in possession, and that sometimes you might find that Caicedo has the ball. But this also gives us the biggest problem in the Chelsea attack, and that is Jackson. So Jackson is not at fault entirely for the lack of goals at Chelsea, but he is also a contributing factor. So Jackson likes to drop deep most of the time to receive the ball, to draw out centre backs, but there is no midfielder making runs beyond him. There is no midfielder making runs. Here Jackson has pulled a centre back out. Mudryk and Gallagher are just ball watching. None of them is making that run beyond the striker. Again, Jackson has dropped deep. He has received the ball. Rather than Mudryk making a run, he watches the ball. Leslie watches the ball. Enzo Fernandez, who should be occupying that position, is also watching the ball. Here again, Jackson has dropped deep. He's dragged the centre back out of position. Enzo Fernandez, who's occupying the left wing, is not making runs so that Mudryk can play the third man run to him. Here, Jackson has dropped and has pulled a centre back out of position. He's played the ball to Enzo Fernandez, but Enzo Fernandez takes time to pick up the runs of Mudryk. Also, Jackson also has a problem. He is not good at playing these through balls, and therefore he has drawn a centre back out of position. And Enzo Fernandez, rather than making the run in space, does not make the run. Here Jackson has received the ball. Rather than playing a simple pass to Conor Gallagher, he holds the ball for too long and he loses the ball eventually. This is also another clip that I want to show you. Here Jackson has a simple pass to Conor Gallagher, who can square it up for Raheem Sterling to score the goal. He attempts a shot in a position where he can't score. Another big problem. So these are the problems that Chelsea fans are seeing in attack. Jackson is drawing out centre backs. What should happen is that a midfielder should be making runs beyond him to score goals. That is what teams like Manchester City do. So Pochettino has been accused and he has been the defined scapegoat for the lack of form at Chelsea. He picks the team, so you can blame him to that extent, but also the personnel are failing him. And this is also indicating why Pochettino is having a problem in implementing the style he had succeeded with at Tottenham and Southampton at Chelsea. And this will require time. We are going to look at how he will fix this. That's the end of the video. Thank you.